Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Yes, I've been experimenting on some stuff. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I just thought I'd do a video to say, hey, I'm here. There's so much going on in my head at the moment, and I thought I'd give you all my brain dump because there's lots of things that are going on. So today is my last day of my break before I'm back at school tomorrow. And I've just disappeared from the world here. There we go. Hopefully that works better. Hopefully you can hear me too. So yeah, this is just like a little bit of everything and a little bit of nothing. Just trying and the light. But yeah, look, I've been doing a whole lot of different stuff that give you a bit of an update on what's going on. I've been doing lots of reading. I've really enjoyed the Mel Robbins book, The Let Them Theory, which has been really helpful actually because I you know, or it could be called, not sweating the small stuff. I just don't seem to get aggravated about stuff as much as I used to. I just sort of just go, yeah, whatever. It will be. Isn't there that song? Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. I don't know whether everything's still dropping out or not. I just also want to see how that was happening. So what's happening in the world? It is the 7th of October today. As I said, I don't really have a lot happening. So I've got to do some, cleaning and some work and some prep for tomorrow. 5 of working with a PT, which is hard. Which is what I like. I said, he said to me, what do you? I said, go hard if I'm going to go. Slowly, the medical trials are still going okay. I think I'm losing weight. I think the biggest thing I'm dealing with now, and it's probably more of an age thing, is the brain fog. My brain is just is so clouded in there. And I believe it happens. It is my birthday on Thursday, by the way, too, and I will be 49. Yes, 49, which freaks me out a little bit. But yes, I am getting to that age, and that is. But the brain fog, I'm just finding the brain frog, robot. The brain fog, I'm struggling with. The also not being able to. I don't sleep at night. I want to sleep during the day. I can sleep all day, or I can be awake and really tired all day. And as soon as night time comes, as soon as it comes time to go to bed, I'm wide awake. It's just really weird. I believe that is all sorts of things to do with that lovely thing called perimenopause, which is, the body changing. And I mean, we put all this stuff into, puberty for boys and girls, but we don't talk a lot about this other end of the spectrum, which is when our bodies go, hey, you're going to shut up shop. But naturally, and it is just pretty crazy. And I'm scrolling through here, some of the news that's going on, and things are all messed up. Don't know whether you know, but Bruce Lemon's suing the Commonwealth. Linda Reynolds is suing the Commonwealth. Brittany Higgins appealed her defamation case that has been filed. So that's all, and that is all still related to what happened in Parliament House all those long ago. It's really quite scary. That there's all of that happening. This is just like ramblings of a lunatic. We could call this ramblings of a lunatic. There's lots to say, but nothing to say. And I think my audio is still cutting out. I don't know what's wrong with my connection. My internet's been really horrible of late. But I do live in Australia, and we have some of the worst internet in the world. Seriously, it's a joke. To be fair. So yeah, I just want to see whether it does. So that's I'm pretty okay with that. So I'm gonna love you and leave you for now, and I'll be back. I'll be back live at some stage. Hopefully, my audio is going to work properly. And I'm just having a look here. I don't know. I don't think they just having a look at all the open. Oh yeah, Reynolds versus Commonwealth of Australia's in here. There's just been some orders done recently. Okay, it was just amending time. October 8th is adjourned to the 12th of November. Yeah, so they've just done some time amendments, and that happens quite often in Australian courts. They'll just ask for more time for stuff. If it's reasonable, they generally will get it because it's easier to do it. Yeah, we might look at that one. The appeal has happened, the Lumen appeal. I don't think we've had that one is still out. Yeah. I think one of the interesting things is the bail laws were amended in Victoria, where I live, recently, and which means that less people are getting out on bail. But now I've just seen something, and they're talking about the prisons being overcrowded. I mean, that is the whole thing, is that you're either going to have crowded prisons or you're going to have people out on bail. And how do you get that balance between the people being out on bail and people being awaiting their sentence? Okay, it's one of those really, really interesting things. The other interesting thing is that Tony Mockball, who was a big crime, notorious crime figure, underworld figure, he got released from prison due to a miscarriage of justice. But it looks like that he had a 30-year prison sentence in 2012, and they're trying to get that and using custody. Because he could possibly be, he may be found innocent on that. So the Court of Appeal has just quashed some of the, and they're doing a retrial because there was some questions about how some of the evidence was obtained. It's going to be interesting, but it was, there was somebody charged with perverting the course of justice through this, and so it's going to be very, very interesting to see. So he could walk free, and we know, as I said, he's a well-known crime figure, notorious crime reputation, and so again, this is a case of, if the evidence is not collected properly and procedure is not followed correctly, then people are going to get out, and that's the whole point. And that's where the collection of evidence, and that's why we have that the evidence is done correctly and put forward. I still haven't seen anything to say that there's been any charges made in relation to, as I said, allegations are one thing, anything. But the general consensus is our country, and I know it is in many countries, that you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. There is that presumption of innocence, the presumption of innocence, and you can be called in for questioning and taken away, and called in for taken for questioning, and then released because there's no evidence for you. I mean, it could take another 12, 18 months of evidence collection. So again, it's got to be really, really careful, because if let's just say that all these people were ringing up and reporting these crimes, and they've gone and they've raided, and it was found that they've done it because of media interest, it could technically be thrown out for that reason if they've not got the correct evidence. So it's very important that the evidence or the law enforcement are able to do exactly what they're supposed to do. And that's why, and that's why it's really important to let the investigators and law enforcement do what they need to do without interference, because things can get thrown out, as we're seeing in the Tony Mockball case. Is that because they were trying to show that they've discovered holes in the evidence collection of it, and he could walk free. I don't know whether he's guilty or innocent. A lot of this stuff happened when I was, younger. I don't know. But he spent 18 years in prison. He's on strict bail conditions. So here's the other thing with the bail, is do we need to go to ankle monitoring bracelets or monitoring stuff and let people out on bail, but under stricter conditions? I don't know. With curfews and check-ins. But then that sort of ties up. If you've got to go, I think Tony Mockball has to go check into the police station every day. You think about the resources that's needed for that to happen. So, yeah. So there's a really fine line between crimes. And with the Cochrane stage, it was determined that people who had done crimes, they might only get 1 or 2 years. If they were in prison, they could essentially walk free after their trial because of the fact that the time it took through the court system. And that's the other thing, is that you've got to take into account the time it's going to go through the system. And our system's pretty slow at the moment. So anyway, they're just ramblings of a lunatic. I might call this ramblings of a lunatic for today. Just some random things that I've just thought of. But yeah, look, if you want to hear some more ramblings, hit like and subscribe. And hey, I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.